Okay, Dark World 107 here. This is a continuation of my side decking videos. Viable cards to side deck. My last one cut off due to memory, and I guess that was well timed because the video is running a little long, and I guess 2 parts will be just fine. So, just right here, basic spawn trap removal. I'm gonna go out and say Night Beam is a new sound replacement to the Dust Tornado side. I would even say Night Beam can come to replace MST in some decks. And before you start raging about that, I want to explain. Night Beam is a normal spell, and MST is a quick play. Night Beam makes up for not being a quick play in the fact that it does not allow the set card it's targeting to be chained. So, in this case, Night Beam is better in the fact that it can get over cards like Gemini Spark, Book of Moon, another MST, Compulsory. The list goes on and on of cards you can just chain. Reckless Greed, even in Chain Burn, some cards like Jar Greed. Just so many things that it gets around that MST does not. And MST is good for when you are playing something like Dark Worlds or Gravekeepers. Mainly Dark Worlds with their actually no, not mainly Dark Worlds or Gravekeepers with field spells that rely heavily on them. So you can have your MST set and chain and immediately destroy their Necro Valley or gates, so they can't draw with gates and road tribute with Necro Valley. I think Night Beam is a lot better because it doesn't force you to set your MST, just in case they have the heavy storm, and they play that first before they set anything, so your MST is pretty much gone to waste, and they set all their back row. Night Beam forces you to keep it in your hand until it's actually being able to use, which I like that. It's going to help you. It's basically for the mind game, so it's going to stay in your hand until you actually need to use that MST. People are going to like to set it and be like, oh, I can immediately destroy the cards, but it's just either going to get picked off by a Lila or Heavy Storm before you're able to use it properly. Next, Mind Control. If you're not maining this, side it, so you can observe if the other deck has same level monsters as you, so you can exceed. And if they heavily exceed, you can take their Utopia and put a Utopia Ray on it. Lightning Vortex, definitely still a viable card with how modern decks, modern meta decks swarm, and just hopefully they kill you in that turn. This is for when they don't. When you have those cards to stop them, and then you clear their field with Lightning Vortex. Next is Smashing Ground. Basic 1-for-1 removal for those decks that like to sit on their big monsters and pretend they're all high and mighty, and then you kill it with Smashing Ground. Then, very deck specific, but I like it, is Constellar Belt. Only for use in for decks that heavily use light monsters. Basically protects their effects from being negated. That's it for the spells. Traps, we have gonna start out with spell and trap removal / negation. Stark Bribe, Royal Decree, Dust Tornado, and Trap Stun. So Royal Decree and Trap Stun, basic. Royal Decree is more for decks that run minimal traps and put them again in against trap heavy decks. You don't want to put this in your deck if you run 10 or 15 traps, which is not good. It's going to screw you over more than your opponent. Trap Stun is for decks that run 10 or 15 spells against a deck that runs 10 or 15 spells and relies on them. So that's a difference between those two. Dust Tornado, Dark Bribe. Dark Bribe is really good against Chain Burn as of these two. So these are your sides against Chain Burn, because Dark Bribe you can watch them start looking at all their cards and contemplate their chain, and then first one they activate Dark Bribe it, so it just screws up their whole chain because they cannot chain their normal traps to Dark Bribe. And Dust Tornado is basic 1-for-1 spell trap removal. Next is just field control. Lets you maintain field control and pretty much stops your opponent's plays. Is a Needle Sealing, Skill Drain, Goals and Match. I guess are the basics. Needle Sealing is I feel like it's just emerged in side decking, but I've liked this card for a long time. It's basically when there are 4 more monsters in the field, destroy all face-up monsters. So this card is good for a lot of reasons. Is first turn, you know you're playing. First turn, game 2, you lost the first one. You set your whatever in face-down defense. Then you set your Needle Sealing. So this face-down monster counts as a monster on the field. So this heretic douchebag is gonna, like, oh, he set a monster in only 1 back row. I'm good to go. He's gonna summon his Tefnua and start going off. The second he gets his three monsters on the field, or if you know they're gonna be going into more without protection, wait until they have a bunch and destroy all their monsters. But since your monster is face down, it's not dead. So this is why this card is a lot better than Torrential and side decking against heretics and cards that swarm. For the main reason, you can chain it to something other than a summon. It doesn't have to be a summon you can chain it to, so it can just be anything like MST. Before they attack and they have all their monsters, you chain your Needle Sealing. It doesn't have to be a summon, and it still destroys all your monsters, and you get to keep your face down. Skill Drain, not for every deck, only for decks like you have your big beaters and you're like, oh, I don't really need their effects, and it's going to screw your opponent over more than it's going to screw you over. Like it heavily hits windups, injectors, stuff like that. Goes and Match, because windups are definitely still viable, and those mash-up decks with all the attributes is gonna kill. Starlight Road, just because Dark Hole and Heavy and Judgment Dragon and Icarus Attack, I don't know, I'm just naming cards. This can stop so many things, the list goes on, but it's definitely situational, and you either have it when you need it, or you have it when you don't need it, or don't have it when you need it. This is basically one of the things it comes down to. Usually it's going to be you don't have it when you need it, or you have it when you don't need it. That's why I suggest not main decking this. Fiendish Chain, Safe Zone. Basically 2 very good cards. Fiendish Chains are extra effect veilers and stop attacks. Safe Zones are, you put those in against Injectors and they start destroying their own monsters, and it's just not a fun time for them. Then, last card a lot of people forget about is Mind Crush. You can put this again against anything, pretty much. People get cards from their deck to hand, graveyard to hand, field to hand, remove from play to hand all the time, and you can just screw up their plays by waiting to see what they put in their hand and Mind Crushing it. And then you get to see the rest of their hand. You're like, oh, cool, thanks. So that's pretty much all the cards I've found laying around that can be good in a side deck. So if you have any more suggestions for me, I know there's a lot of more cards there, but this is just basically what I was thinking of and had around and wanted to discuss with you guys. So thank you guys for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe. I'm gonna do more videos like this, and yeah, tell me if you like it. See you guys later.